Ashanti Titus here with Garner Films, executive producer of Natural Hair, the movie. We had some phantom technical issues here, but that's okay. We're going to roll on. I'm here with the beautiful and the amazing Kayla Garner. She is the co-founder of the Betterness Box, and she has an amazing following and YouTube channel with some great information on natural living, as well as self-care and all of that good stuff. So how are you today, Kayla?
I am doing well. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm just trying to take it one day at a time in the global pandemic.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a journey. I think it's a journey for everyone. So it's interesting how we're all kind of taking it in on our own in different ways. And so one day at a time.
For sure. I know for me, to give for what's been, I think, we talked about a little bit, keeping your mind in a positive place is always thinking about what's going right.
Yep.
And gratitude has definitely been helping me out during this time. Like being thankful for those things, because when you think that something's wrong in your life, like there's someone that has it, worse. And so you should always count your blessings, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. And so we want to get into the tea on why you chose to go natural. What was it like, as far as when you had a chemical process, and what made you go natural?
So I have a little different of a story. My natural journey it started really when I was around 16, 17. So, I've always been into like health and wellness at certain levels. Back in the day, I'm going to probably date myself, but this is around like the late 90s, 98, 99, 2000. I was more into like, okay, I want to do things more naturally. I like natural makeup. I didn't really wear makeup then. So I just wanted to feel very natural. And my mom had been, for maybe 2 years, she had been relaxing my hair at home. And so I wasn't relaxed that long. At 16, 17, I was like, all right, I don't think this is good for me. Because, you go through all of those, especially as a teenager, you're like, okay, I guess I'm doing this because everybody else is doing it. But there's scabs on my scalp. Like, is this really supposed to happen? Those chemical burns.
Yeah.
And it was like a normal thing, right? Your hair is laid, but you got like these little scabs some places. And mine wasn't like super bad, but what is super bad when you're actually having chemical reaction to this stuff?
Right.
So that sodium hydroxide was tearing me up, girl. And I was like, nah, let me go ahead and kind of chill on that. And so I just said, you don't have to do my hair anymore. And she was like, okay, go ahead. But then she let me free to try to figure out what it looks like to do my hair after that. And that's difficult. So I had to figure out, what to do. At first, I was just throwing water on my head every morning because that's the only way it felt manageable.
Right.
And then it kind of broke off, because now it's like, what are you doing to me? But then it started coming back, and I started just straightening it every single time I washed my hair. So every week I was flat ironing my hair. I didn't even know there was a curly texture there. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I was like, you just straighten your hair, because that's what we do. We straighten our hair. We get it permed or relaxed, and then we straighten our hair.
Right.
So I had, let's see, from 17 to, how old was I? Almost about 25. So about almost 10 years. I was flat ironing my hair and had 10 years of heat damage.
Oh,
so my hair, yes, like put some water on it, nothing will happen. It's like a wave. I had a wave of a hair. So I definitely transitioned from heat damage, which is different, but very similar to transitioning or returning to natural from a relaxer, because you still see new growth. You still have those like different textures in your hair. You can figure out if you want to do a big chop, or you can go ahead and just do transitioning styles. And so that's what I did. I did transitioning styles. And so all this time thinking I was natural, right? But I was still damaging my hair by heat damaging it. And then finally just really discovering, oh, this is what my hair looks like. And really getting in touch with what that looked like. And it, of course, sparked a whole new like movement in my life, right? Because now you're like, wait, if this is something I never knew about, what else is there? There's got to be more to my health and wellness that I don't even know about. So eating more healthy. I gave up everything but fish. So I'm a pescatarian, and that was about 10 years ago now, too. Just to eat healthier, right? Just little changes that were sparked by this choice to return to natural. And so
Right.
it's been a great journey. Obviously, YouTube channel. All my videos started off being natural hair transitioning videos, transitioning from heat damage, how to style your hair. So it's been quite a journey. And now I've got, a whole repertoire of styles I can go to, and I'm fine with it. It's not hard for me. It's just, there are times though when I'm like, let me go ahead and put it away and get some braids. But I just started getting braids. I got individual braids for the first time last year, like in my life. I had
Oh,
never,
really?
yeah, like, teenage girls grow up with braids. Nah, I never had braids. Like the
Mm.
first time I actually had extensions hair in my head was like maybe 2 to 3 years ago. So that has been awesome. I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me about this before? Being able to
Yeah.
put your hair away, girl. It was amazing. So yeah, I'm loving those styles, but I also miss my texture as well. So I'll take it out and kind of experiment as well. So it's
For
been a
sure.
journey. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so in the film, your part was very special because we had a scene in there where you had your hair and it was dyed, and then you
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about that and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah. So, and you have to remember, I was also this natural hair YouTuber, right? And this is when natural hair Nazis, what we call them, we're out here in these streets talking about if you do anything to your hair, you're not natural. And it's kind of like, huh? You have to ask that question. What does really natural mean? And during that time, a lot of people, we were all just trying to figure it out anyway, right? And with anything, people try to, pass judgment on what they think is right versus, everybody's got an opinion. So for me, I settled on knowing that if I'm not relaxing my hair or changing it chemically to the point where my texture is different from what it is naturally coming out of my head, I'm natural. You know what I mean? I think a texturizer, you're doing something to your natural hair. So you're really changing the way the hair comes and looks out of your hair shaft. My hair, if you see the movie, you will see it's right there. It might be lightened, but you can see my hair is absolutely kinky, curly, frizzy, all the things. So there was no chemical process done on my hair that was really that changed the texture. And I know that can happen for some people, but I remember I got it professionally done by Aveda, and
Okay.
Aveda is like plant-based everything. So they did use some bleach, I think, a little bit, but most of the time they had to lighten it with it took forever. It was like a whole day process because going from black hair to pretty much blonde was a whole situation. But yeah, it was interesting to say, okay, no, I'm natural and I'm loving this color and experimenting with my hair, different hairstyles, haircuts, hair color. So I've always held to that belief that you should experiment and have fun with your natural hair and fall in love with it so that you can, really be confident in it and not feel like, oh, well, I feel like I'm constrained to this standard. And there's really
Right.
no standard. It's your hair. It's growing out of your head. Do what you want with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to touch a little bit on that. I would say during this process of the film and with it all coming together, it really made me more open-minded as far as making sure that I didn't become a natural hair Nazi. Because we all are at different levels of what
Mhm.
we're comfortable with, what we can do, and then not being constrained to one style. We should be, we're women. We like to
Absolutely.
change it up, and like it shouldn't be restricted because of
Our
what
hair.
someone else would think, right? So
Hmm.
and like listening to other people's experiences and working in different industries and why they chose to do what they do, it really kind of brought it home for me more.
Hmm.
So you going natural, having your journey, and then dealing with criticism online for having your hair dyed, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then going through that whole thing and choosing to do what you wanted to do. into morphing that into the Betterness Box, right? Can you tell us about your company, the Betterness Box?
Yes, I love it so much. Every time I hear somebody else say it, I'm like, my baby. So yeah, as I continued to transition and do natural hair videos, I started, being a real YouTuber where we were doing all kinds of stuff, and there weren't a lot of us back then. So when I say we, we were pretty select. These Black women that were natural, or just Black women in general on YouTube, was kind of a rarity, even though now it's not a rarity at all, which I love. The more
Yeah,
the merrier.
yeah.
Absolutely. But I started doing beauty videos and lifestyle videos, and I had named my channel the KG Lifestyle because I knew I wanted to do different content. I didn't want to be stuck in a box with natural hair.
Right.
So I definitely started to do favorite videos and showcase reviews, especially around natural hair care, because people want to say, okay, your hair is kind of like mine. I think I can use this product. So I was doing a lot of reviews and a lot of favorites, and I decided, okay, I love doing this and showcasing and sharing this with people. What can I do that will literally help my customers in a more intentional way? And so
Mm-hmm.
I decided to go ahead and put together a company with my line sister, Denise. And we did 2 years of actually research around this idea, because subscription boxes were really popular during that time. And we were like, yeah, we're a subscription box, but we want to be a little more different.
Right.
And so we decided to then say, okay, we're going to curate the products in a box and go ahead and put that in the hands of my followers or our friends, family, the people that we love, that we know need to be a little bit more intentional around their self-care. And so Betterness Box was born, and it's a community. It's a lifestyle subscription box, and it's really, really, really intentional. And so all around these three concepts when it comes to wellness, beauty, and fitness. And so each month, when we first started, we were sending out a box every month with that theme, whether it was wellness, whether it was beauty, whether it was fitness. And then we'd start over again. We're combining all of those, and this is like an exclusive because nobody knows this yet, but we're combining all three of those areas. And we're going to go ahead and just focus on wellness, right? So every box is going to have a book in it. Every box is going to be very, very intentional around the 4 seasons. So it'll come out every quarter, and you'll know what's going to be in the box, and you have to order it before it's all sold out. So it won't be as easy to get it anymore, but we're super excited to get it in the hands of the people that are really trying to be intentional around changing their habits around wellness, like literally delivered to your door, a whole kit, basically a program, right? Like you open it up, it's going to tell you what to do. It's going to ask you what you're going to do to set a goal for yourself. So we're really excited about the future of Betterness Box, and what we're going to do to really help others be intentional. We're here literally to serve. Like that is what drives us. And so I'm excited to do that in this new way.
So KG, when I order the Betterness Box, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Run me through like
What you're supposed to do?
yeah.
Okay, I'll let you know. Well, I do have some in the bag. Those are a stack of Betterness boxes right there. But yeah, when you get your box, it's very, like I said, intentional. There's the first thing you see is a pamphlet, and it tells you what the theme of the box is. So, for example, we just had a box that was called "Prioritize Yourself," and so that box had everything in it that would really, really help you prioritize yourself around the holidays. And so I think this was our December box. And, we as women, and just in general, as a population, we fall way down low on the priority list when it comes to the holidays, because we're cooking, we're preparing, we're buying gifts for people, going to all the events. There's just a lot that we do for other people. And so we wanted to make sure to give people an opportunity to have something to do for themselves. So you get your box and you open it up. It's going to tell you what to do. And the first step is always taking the products out of the box, putting your phone on airplane mode and inside the box, pushing the box aside, and literally spending time with your box, right? So electronics off. You are forced to sit there and really read and take in what it is that we're trying to help you with. So if that's prioritize yourself, which was a wellness box, it's all about wellness and setting a goal that month. So if it included a book, then we need you to read that book by the end of the month. You know what I mean? You got
Right.
30 days to read this book. There's a mask in there. There was a body butter in there. There's a body scrub, which was like velvety. It was so amazing, that body scrub. And so there's all these little things, including our affirm cards, which are affirmation cards about whatever that theme is. And that's one of our favorite things. Like, believe it or not, they're like these 2x2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone loves those cards because you get 5 every month and they're different. And you can give them to friends and encourage them, or you can put them, at your desk at work, now at home, right? In the bathroom, wherever that is, to kind of encourage yourself and stay intentional. So again, it's like a program. You've got your cards, you've got the tools, and then you've got the community that you can join at betternessbox.com. And that's right on your phone. You can see who else is dealing with similar issues. You can find people near you. It's an amazing ecosystem, is what we call it, to help you really change the habits that you want to change. If you really want to take better care of yourself in the areas of wellness, fitness, and beauty, this is a solution for you. And that's kind of where we came up with that, to help you do that intentionally. So yeah, that's what you would get. That's the experience.
Awesome. I have a question. Somebody in the chat, they're saying, I guess, see, what made you decide on this business model?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a really good question. Like I said, we did do a lot of research, 2 years on figuring out if we wanted to even do, a box, because this is right around when subscription boxes were starting to boom, and we were like, okay, that's a cool thing. One thing I loved was my subscription to Ipsy. If you guys remember, Ipsy was founded by, I think her name's Michelle Phan from YouTube. Huge YouTuber. She got millions and millions.
I know her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she started Ipsy, IPSY, and it's a beauty subscription. And it's so simple, super straightforward, $10 a month. It's like this little packet, or like a makeup bag of little knickknacks, right? I probably shouldn't call them knickknacks, but beauty tools. So it's lip liner, eyeliner, nail polish, lipstick, and things that are really beauty oriented. But after, I think I was subscribed maybe for a year, 2 years, I had so many bags, y'all.
Yeah.
I would use them around the holidays to give out like my presents to people.
Right.
But I realized like, oh, I'm using this to give, like, this is easy to give for a birthday, or, just to let a friend know that I'm thinking about them, or whatever that is. But why am I paying $10 a month for a service that I'm not even using? And I remember doing our research and seeing a lot of people were having that same experience. And so for us, we liked the idea of getting something shipped to you, directly to you, for you to use, right, every month. But we wanted to make sure they were going to be used and that they were going to be intentional. And so we really did our research on how to do that, because most boxes are like that. They have a whole bunch of, samples in them. Our boxes have maybe 1 sample, but 5 of the products in there are full size, which is like super different than the subscription box model. But we said we want to be in people's homes. And that's ultimately the goal of Betterness Box. We want to be in your home, helping you do better for yourself. Like, what do you need? How can we help you? Give you the tools, the accountability, and the instruction to help you change those habits. And so for us, it just made sense to be consistent every month with our deliveries. And then not only consistent, we're changing it up every month so that you're focusing on different things, not the same thing like Ipsy was, and you just got all these products kind of hanging out. So with this new way of doing it, you're definitely going to get a really good box full of products, but you'll definitely have a lot of time to really get into those, right? So if you didn't have time to read the book last month, maybe you just focused on your face mask time every week this month. You know what I mean? So you've got a chance to really use those things and start to use the products in the box, the community, to do better in all of those areas. So Well, if you can't tell, I'm super excited about this change to really help people. And again, we're not really changing the philosophy of our business. We're just changing the cadence, right? How often are we doing it? And I'm thinking it's really going to be good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, and that says a lot about you as well. The fact that you guys, I mean, because you could continue to do the monthly subscription if you
We
wanted to,
should
right?
good.
Or, you know what I'm saying, increase revenue. But the fact that you're making it on a quarterly thing, it's really showing that you're intentional about people actually benefiting from your product,
Yeah.
and giving them enough time to utilize everything and go through it. So I think that says a lot. That's amazing, you know.
Thank
And
you.
so. And you know, everyone is going through a stressful time.
Say that again, girl. It's a lot.
You know, with what's going on. So, since you have been in that self-care arena, can you give us a couple of tips that we ladies, mothers, women in business can take to be a little bit more sane? Like, what can we do for self-care right now?
Right, absolutely. Well, I definitely have to shout out Betterness Box again, just because we go live every single Wednesday and talk about this. Like, we are there for you as a community in general, where you can ask questions. And I go live with an expert. So it's just not me with my years of experience of teaching in this field, but it's therapists that are licensed to answer certain questions, right? We just had a financial advisor on today, and it's still live. So if you want to go and watch that, definitely do that before it expires tomorrow. But we talked about how our finances and money are coming together. I think the best thing that I could tell someone to do, at least the first thing, is to give yourself grace. I think we're so hard on ourselves. And I am literally preaching to myself, because I am one of those people that's very ambitious, right? I've been an entrepreneur since I was like 10. So I've always been like, okay, what else? What's the next project? What else can I do? What else can I do to help people? And that makes me happy as well. And so it's tough to be like, wait, I'm supposed to have all this time. You know, I feel like there's two sides of the conversation. Some people are talking about, we have so much time. Everybody has time to do stuff now. But we're in a global pandemic. Like, you cannot understate the fact that this is affecting us mentally. Like, this is a traumatic experience, period. Yeah. Right? Yeah. People are literally dying. We're seeing a death toll. Like, we're counting deaths in our communities and in the world right now. You cannot give yourself enough grace in this moment. So if this is the time that you need to rest, like if you're that person who is like, I'm just always so tired. I'm just always so tired. And now you've been able to, you know, sit down, right? I feel like God is like, y'all, just sit down. Right? Like, now we have the opportunity to do that. Go ahead and binge watch those shows, right? Go ahead and read that book that has been sitting on your mantle forever. Like, do the things that you've always said that you never had time for, including rest. I think rest and water is one of the tips we got from one of our licensed professionals, Alicia Woodall. She was like, I know that sounds crazy, but, you know, or just way too simple, but drinking enough water during the day and resting, right? Getting enough rest is really important. So if that's tracking that with your Apple Watch or your other smart watches, or if that's using your phone, that's what I use. I'll use my phone because it's always the last thing I put up on the charger, you know, next to my bathroom. And then at the same time, it's the first thing that wakes me up because that's my alarm. So it's really good. You can use, if you have an Apple phone, you can use the sleep app, but just making sure that you're resting and taking the time to do the things that, you know, you really felt like you never had time for. And then making sure that you set those boundaries. I think my therapist that we had on, her name's Chandria Riddick. She's amazing. She has online programs and everything. But she was like, okay, for the mothers, where you have to decide where you begin and your family ends and you begin. Like, there needs to be a distinction because otherwise all those lines will just continue to get, you know, blurred. And so you have to figure out, okay, hey, this is my time. This is where you end. Now is my, you got to figure out what you're going to do to kind of draw some of those boundaries. And I'm sure that's difficult. I'm not a mother, so I'm sure that's difficult with your kids and doing stuff like that. But leaning on your partner, making sure that they know what you need and kind of stay consistent with that. Awesome advice from my therapist. She's
I
a
love
mother of
that.
three. Yeah. Where do you end? Where do they end and where do you begin? And she also talks about this concept of finding the cracks, right? Because I think we can get so caught up on like, this is supposed to be my, hour of time. Maybe you ain't got an hour, sis. Maybe you just got those 15 minutes and that's
Yeah.
what you got. And really be happy about that. Like, congratulate yourself for taking those 15, 20 minutes to yourself and then get back to it and then find another crack in the time. You know what I mean? So absolutely take your time to do that. We got another question?
Yeah, we do. And then I was just going to add to what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because just 2 days ago, because I'm in the process of reading a book, and I was like down on myself because I had a goal on the day that I wanted to finish it, right? But I found those 15-minute cracks, and I just read, and that works like wonders. So while the kids were playing like the little video games, reading. So
absolutely.
The next question, so your therapist, for sure, that's a good tip for some of us. We feel like, when is my time?
When's the time? You gotta find those cracks.
Yes. Okay, so business question. For a new YouTube blogger, what techniques do you recommend for growing an audience?
That's a great question. Oh, y'all, listen, I remember asking my leak, who is the owner of Curlbox, this question, but for subscription boxes. I was like, how do you start a subscription box now? And the advice she gave me was so good, or at least the reaction she gave me really gave me a different perspective. When we started as YouTubers, nobody was on YouTube doing it. So it was much easier to grow an audience back then than it is now, because you are extremely, extremely saturated. You're in a saturated market, right? So depending on what kind of blogger or YouTube channel you want to have, you definitely have to decide what is going to set you apart. One thing that I will tell you, if you want to look at YouTubing as a business, is you've got to treat it like a business. So that means you have to be extremely consistent. It can't be a hobby that you do just when you feel like it, right? The famous thing that people say, or YouTubers say when they come back, and I'm guilty, they come back after a month or two, or even 6 months. It's been that long for me at times. It's like, hi guys, I know it's been a while. I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to do it. Like that, you will hear that across the board on some of these YouTube channels. And that's because it's a hobby for them, period. Because if it isn't a hobby, you will see them consistently post. If that's once a week, if that's twice a week. I think now video is like it. So you got to make sure that you're posting multiple times a week. Go live now. There's so many opportunities to do that. But you've got to be consistent, because when people find you, they want to be able to know that you're going to be there when you say you're going to be there. So if you say you're going to post weekly, post weekly. And again, I am guilty for not doing that, especially in these last couple of years. But when I started, I'll say, yes, there was more of a market for us, right? It was much more open and brands were looking to work with us. Natural hair was booming, period. Like I've worked with every brand, Cream of Nature, Dove, Pantene, like every single brand we all worked with back then. But now it is, I will admit, it is more difficult. So set yourself apart, number one. And then number two, just be extremely consistent. Even if you see 3 views on your last video and then 5 views on the next one, that's growth. So you keep it going. 5 is going to be 10 and then thousands. And then, you know what I mean? So do that. And then I would absolutely, the third thing would be to collaborate. So you forget that like you have access to your people and your people are going to support you as much as they can. But you have to get discovered by other people, new people. So the only way to do that is to kind of cross market yourself. And that is to do a collaboration. So when you see these YouTubers doing that, that's by design. That's not by, oh, let's just do a challenge together. No, they're doing a challenge to put their content on the other person's channel and the other person's content on their channel, so that they're cross marketing, and now you're discovered by their followers and your followers are discovered by them. It's absolutely intentional. So being consistent with like maybe one collaboration at least a month is really smart. I mean, if you can do more, especially now that we're home, do more. But really decide what it is you want to give. Well, like what makes you stand out, what makes you different from all these other YouTubers. And really with that, it's like, what are you offering? Because you have to come to this like you're serving as well. This is all about making sure that you are serving the people. What resources that are you giving or teaching or talking about that people really want to hear or know about? And then number two, like I say, is be consistent. And number three, collaborate. Make sure that you're cross marketing yourself across anybody else's platform that's related to yours, and find people that obviously have about as many followers as you, so it makes sense to cross market yourselves. But that grew my channel a lot when I started doing collaborations and things like that. Same thing with Instagram and growing any other following. It's a lot about being discovered by other people.
Gotcha. So set yourself apart, be consistent, and collaborate.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Here's the three.
The three pillars. Awesome. Yes. Yeah, definitely times have definitely like just changed so much, you know, and now at first it was only like the main people. You know, your main natural people.
Yeah.
You get on there,
Curly
it's like
Nikki. Remember Curly Nikki? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot now. It's like now you have to kind of filter through as well to see, you know, what's the best, you know, way to go.
It's really about SEO now as well when it comes, well, for blogging for sure, it's all SEO. But when it comes to YouTubing, think about how you use it. You type in something you want to find, and whichever thumbnail looks the best and has the least amount of time, you click on that one, right? That's how I use YouTube. I'm like, okay, I want to do a braid style. Ooh, bet. This one's 5 minutes. Let me watch this one. Why is this one an hour? Nobody got time for that. Let's go to the one that has less followers.
Right.
Or less minutes.
You know what? And that's a good way of looking at it. This simplicity, just reverse engineer it. How do you, and just make a whole bunch of like short but potent content with beautiful cover photos.
Absolutely. Make sure you have quality content to offer, and people will continue to come back. Trust and believe. But make sure you're tagging your stuff, right? Because when somebody types in how to cornrow, and you've named your video braids with Keisha, that's, you know what I mean? That may not come up. And it's going to take a long time for somebody to get down to your content. So if you want to teach people how to cornrow, name your video how to cornrow, period. You know what I mean? Like, be extremely simple, and again, reverse engineer it, just like you were saying about what would you type in? Go ahead and put that as your title.
That's some great advice. Great advice. Okay, so let me ask you this. So where do you see yourself in the future, as well as with Betterness Box, and then, you know, as far as some of your goals?
Good question. There's so much. Betterness Box is just like one of those things where I'm super excited to see what God does with it, right? Because it is such a resource, and I've seen so many wellness boxes fail. And so I'm like, okay, like I obviously know that this is a needed product, but everybody keeps quitting. And that happens a lot in business. That's not a new thing. But that means I have to stay consistent and keep going, right? Until we get it right. So changing from monthly to quarterly, changing up the types of books and the types of products, whatever that looks like, you have to stay consistent if it's something you truly believe in. And so we are going to continue to do that, right? And really stay connected to our followers and our supporters and our customers that have supported us since the beginning. We're going to make sure that we're serving the customers that are actually paying for our product, and then see where it takes us. I would love to like own a spa one day. That's like one of my dreams that I probably have never told anybody. But yeah, owning a spa, being able to like serve people on the ground in real life. And I know that's different now because, well, definitely right now. Nobody's going nowhere, right? Don't even look at my nails, okay? But when it comes to just brick and mortar, I think it's more about creating an experience. And I think
Mhm.
we've done that with our book, with our box, making sure that we're having the accountability there and making sure we have the community there, the products, the intentionality. So we've created an experience. It's just more of like, okay, how do we transfer that over to what it could look like in person, face to face directly with the customer. So those are like phase 30 20 plans. But yeah, the next thing coming for us is these quarterly boxes. So definitely look out for that. We work with large corporations and organizations as well, nonprofits. So let us know if you're interested in ordering your staff boxes. We absolutely do large orders, international shipping everywhere. So that's next for Betterness Box. But for myself, there's a lot of new things on the horizon. I have a podcast called Busy Loving Jesus, which is super fun. Some new episodes are going to be coming out about that. I talk about everything from lifestyle to dating to wellness, all the things. And that's fun. So you can find that at Busy Loving Jesus everywhere, Spotify, Apple, everywhere. And so I'll continue to be doing that. But I am also launching a program in May called Clean Up Your House, which is really,
Ooh.
really fun. Uh, it really came from my experience because, as you can see, there's some junk kind of. This is not how I would like my background, my office area to look like right now. And so I'm picking areas in my house to really just clean up and get organized and just how I would like it. Because I truly believe your home has to rise up to meet you, right? This is a quote from Oprah. And if it does, if your home rises up to meet you, then you will feel completely different throughout the day, right? And I think a lot of people are feeling stuck now as well, just because they don't feel like good in their homes, right? There might be that one little area they feel okay and settled in themselves in, but they avoid that other area where that pile of clothes is, right? Or they avoid their closet. And so I'm really, really keen on, I call it self-care squared. And it's all about things that are really tied to yourself. So it's mind, body, and soul, but it's also your space. I add space to that because their space is so important. I'm telling you, like, when I meditate, has to be on point. Okay.
I want to share something. I want to hit on that, the space part.
Yes.
I recently, it was probably a month ago, I did a prayer for obtaining the prosperity consciousness. And I literally got a list from as a response to my prayer. And one of the things was having a clear space.
Yes.
And I went down this like YouTube rabbit hole and I did this meditation, right? Of like kind of like feeling the ambiance or the aura of your room,
Yes.
and that was interesting.
It
and so
is.
I just immediately just started just throwing stuff away, clearing stuff out,
Yes.
and that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I didn't really. And so you saying that, and when Oprah said that all is like a reoccurring like thing that's saying like, hey, make sure you keep that up. So that's
absolutely. Yeah, I have a program that I that's on my website or my store. It's called Self-Care Squared 101. And that's one of the assignments. It's like go through the areas, make a list of areas in your home to declutter. And so that's almost a year old now, that program. But I want to be able to offer something in like chunks. And so what I'm doing is every Saturday in May, I'm doing like an expert kind of thing, kind of like this side by side, but it's going to incorporate my own home. And this really came, girl, it's so selfish because everybody asked me for a home tour when I bought my home, right? I used to vlog as well, very consistently. And so they're like, girl, we've seen every other place except for the home that you actually bought and built and decorated yourself. Like I painted this behind me. You know what I mean? I've done all the things, but I haven't showcased it because look at this, girl, look at that. It's too much. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. I got to get that organized and be able to like showcase it like it's supposed to be showcased.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
I've procrastinated on it because it's not up to what I, would want it to be. And so I said to myself, well, this could really help me. So it's kind of selfish, but it's also going to help people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of stuff comes out of that, right? Like, what do I need? Okay, let me create something around that. So we're going to start. Yep, we're going to start in the closet. That's the first place I think us women, we keep a lot of stuff tucked away in little corners and stuff. Yep. So getting rid of some of those shoes that are starting to fall apart, like, girl, let them go, things like that. I'm super excited to get my closet done. And then we're going to move to my bedroom. I've got a couple little projects I want to do in there that will really spruce it up. And I actually have like a little library nook where I meditate and pray, and that's my area. But right now I have a day bed in there. There's a whole bunch of clothes on that. So it's like, okay, let's get the closet done. Then once the closet's done, I can move into the bedroom. And then I'm coming downstairs here to the kitchen, how to organize your kitchen, your living area, and then we'll move into the garage. So I'm super excited to like, anybody who's like, okay, these projects, it's been a month in quarantine and I'm still sitting in this stuff. Come along with me on this journey. I'm super excited about Clean Up Your House. But stay tuned. If you're on my newsletter, you will see it. It will come out in about a week. So definitely go to theKGLifestyle.com and sign up on my newsletter, and you'll see that in your inbox.
Awesome. My husband makes fun of me. He said that he remembers when he first came to my house where my mom, I was living in my room. And I had the room was clean, but literally everything was in the closet. But the room was clean, So I'm definitely gonna be checking out those videos because clothes and papers is like, so
it is.
We'll definitely be looking out for that. Mm-hmm. Well, KG, thank you so much for your time. One more thing. You have the buy one get one free, right?
Yes, thank you so much for that reminder. Y'all, this is unheard of too. So, today is Wednesday. If you're watching live, you lucked out. I think we keep the code for 24 hours though. So if you see this tomorrow, you can go ahead and use it. But use the code wellness. If you go to betternessbox.com, BETTERNESS box.com, you'll be able to get 2 boxes for the price of 1, which is unheard of. One of our boxes, actually a lot of our boxes are MSRP'd or worth over $100. The stuff that we have in them are over $100, but they're priced at like $40. And so you're getting a box for $40, but then when you enter your code, you're getting a whole nother box for free. Right. Again, we don't do this often. And this is only because sometimes we procure maybe 2 to 3 more than we really need, just in case like a product breaks or something like that. So we have a little bit of inventory because we're not really like a store, right? We're a subscription model business, but because we want to make sure that we're getting these products out to people, especially now, we want to make sure to offer that. So I just saw an order come through while we've been on the phone now. So if y'all are interested, go to betternessbox.com and use wellness as soon as you can before all of our boxes are sold out.
I'm gonna make sure I get mine on there.
Yes, don't wait, because girl, when I tell you, I get an order and then the app tells me this is sold out. I'm like, okay, well, we only had 2, so.
Yes. Do you have this every Wednesday? It's gonna be every Wednesday.
Yep, every Wednesday. Yep.
So y'all check this out. Wednesday is an awesome day for the Betterness Box because she has the lives with experts, and then you're able to get the buy one get one free box. Okay, so and then to find the new codes, they just go follow you or follow the Betterness Box.
Follow the Betterness Box. Follow me. It's wellness. It's a pretty easy code. It doesn't matter if it's all caps or lowercase. Just type in wellness and you'll see it. And then if you watch the live, I talk about it there. It's also pinned at the bottom. It's everywhere. So
it doesn't change each week. It's the same.
Nope. It's wellness every single week. That's the secret. So we don't have to go in there and change the code. Listen, we small business owners. We ain't got time for
I hear you. Well, and then also, guys, if you want to see more of Kayla as well, you can check out our film, Natural Hair the Movie. It is on Amazon Prime. So you simply just go to Amazon, type in Natural Hair the Movie, and then it'll pop up and you can leave us a review as well. KG, it's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry for the technical issues.
No worries at all. I'm glad I had this on hand headset just in case.
But thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your contribution to the film, and thank you so much for your service to the community and helping us to become better at self care. So we appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me. I was so happy and honored to be in the documentary. I cannot wait actually to go live and do like a watch party kind of thing when I, can get that together with some of my friends. Because I'm sure everybody is doing this. We have Zoom parties all the time. We just drop the link in our group chat and we're like, okay, let's just chat. I want to be able to do that with all my girls and watch the movie on Prime. So I'm excited.
That is a great, yes, that's a great idea. Make sure to invite me.
Okay, I will. I'll be like, oh, girl, what happened here? I can ask her. Let me ask her right here. You know what I mean? So that's
that is cool. Well, you guys, y'all have an amazing night, and y'all stay beautiful and stay great. And make sure you follow Betterness Box at Betterness Box, and then at the KG Lifestyle as well. Y'all have a great evening, and until next time, y'all. Bye.
Bye.